Hello, everybody, and we're back again. Oh, who is ready to continue? This is where it gets fun. I always love when we start getting to the fun stuff. Okay, I'm going to move the book for a minute. Move the mouse so we don't knock it off the thing. Well, hello, Sherry. Yes, hugs to yours too. Okay, where we're going to start is for right now, I'm just going to back up for a second. I'm going to go through really quick. And I just want to divide because you have 2 sheets of each. So what I'm going to do here, now this one we're down to the 1, so it's going to go in that 2 pile. I should have done this last night when I got to thinking. So this one we've already cut into, it goes over there. Let's divide these up and I'll tell you why in just a second. There we've got one we cut into. I find it's easier. I'm going to cut down on this pile first on my left-hand side. And we'll put all the other sheets away. This way, if we make one little boo-boo, we're not tempted to grab another full sheet. Because that's so easy to do, you know. You grab it and you're like, oh, I'm just going to cut into this. And then it's all of a sudden, I needed that for the front. And that is the other thing. So we cut into this. It's here. We were cut into that. So we'll get that out. Okay, these are my full sheets that I have not cut into. And they're going back in my bag. Get those. And the pieces we cut last night, I'll just leave in there. But, so for instance, you want to be sure that you have your cover and the back. Now for the pooch, it was the plaid, and I was really disappointed they didn't do a plaid here. Thank you, I did. But we're going to be using that orange floral and some of the green. So, like I said, we did cut into that last night. And we want to make sure that we have it when it comes time for the cover. So there is one I'm looking for here, and I'm not sure why I'm not coming up with another flower. Oh, did I put that back with the doggies maybe? Accidentally. Okay, well, I'll put it right here in with the ones that I'm going to cut. I'm going to go ahead and pop these in the bag. Wait a minute, that should be it right there. It is here. Okay. Okay, my full set is now in there. No worries. And I'm going to just pop those right there. So we're not going to do the decorating yet. And then also, so do that with your doggies. And of course, we come on live. Wilbur's asleep and he has begun to snore. Okay, so I'm going to have the dogs right here so I can cross match for you guys. Well, hi, Rhonda. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're just going to start. And we already did some prep last night. So we can now take all of these out and we're just going to set them aside for a minute. And then we are going to also grab all of the other pieces and parts that we did not cut into. Then I'm going to show you what plastic sleeves we're going to use. So if you've got your plastic sleeves ready, I'm just going to go in order so I don't miss one. So first thing I'm going to grab, so it'll be on your bottom, is a 6x8. And there's our four squares, 4x4. Then we have the 4x6 at the top and 2 at the bottom. Now, what I did is I flipped it over to put my 4x6 at the top. So the openings, it doesn't, that's what's nice. It won't matter. So I'll put that. So it's at the top. Then we have another 6x8, and we make it look like it has pockets, but it's a 6x8. Then we have another of the divided with the 4x6 and 3x4s. That combo. And another 6x8. You know what? Let me go ahead and, I forgot to turn that down. We don't need phone notifications while we're in class learning, right? Then we have another 4x4s. See, we use quite a bit of them, but there's quite a bit in this. Then we have the 4x6, just the two, one on top, one on the bottom. Okay, that's going to leave you with these two. You do have enough paper if you decide you want to add these back into your book. You will be able to. Otherwise, I will now put them with my dividers that we do not use. I just put them in between there, and we'll set those aside. So it's nice to have those. So maybe later, if there's something that you want to do more on, then you will have those. The ones that we're going to really concentrate on for right now, because we're going to be cutting our papers so that we have our 6x8s. So you want to take out your 3 6x8 pockets. These guys, we'll get to these. But right now we're going to concentrate on anything that's 6x8. That means matting our pages, and we're going to kind of go in the order. So last night we did our first tab. We put on our little flap here. I rounded these corners. So now we're going to cut our first 6x8 piece. So for the kitties, I want you to pull out the orange floral. For the doggies, it's this yellow plaid. Of course, we'll need that. And then on the back, oh, let me show you, well, the back, I do the two different sizes. So we come back to that because we do have to cut one of those as a 6x8, and then the same with the kitty. See, I tried to do it the same plaid, and these are the little footprints. The doggy is brown. The plaid will be more of your like primary colors. So we're going to start with our first sheet, and it's, oh, I'm telling you, all of it is just so adorable. Oh, well, good, Tanya, because it's 57 degrees now after being 85 here. So the weather's coming your way, and we now have rain for the next forever, let me tell you. Okay, one thing that this is really, I don't want you just to take your paper. I do not want you just to go cut it down. I know it's going to seem like that's the thing to do, but it's not the thing to do. Let me show you. when doing these type of albums, sorry, and it's the wind bringing in those cottonwoods. When you're doing those kind of albums and you have something that is directional like so, a lot of times if we don't cut the graphics correctly, if we went just down the middle, we're going to lose this whole 12-inch directional piece. And even though what I'm looking here is there's a lot of places we can use that, and I would much rather, even though we didn't, I would much rather save what's down there at the bottom. Does that make sense? So we know everything's just 6 by 8. There's no 8. 6 by 8. If you go straight down, you'll have 2 6 by 5 pieces, but I'm just going to cut mine at my 8 inches across this way first. See, if I want to fold it that way and make a booklet, then I've got my graphics all going the right direction, and the backside doesn't matter. So some papers I'm going to be cutting that way so that we don't lose use of these great graphics. So our first cut was 8 inches, and now we're going to go ahead and cut it at 6. And right now we are going to use this side. And now we've got a perfect one for another page, and we'll just slip it down there until we get back to it. So we'll cut and put it down as we go. Now this, though, I forgot, we may just check it. You may trim it just a little bit. Yeah, it's going to push it. So I am going to take 1/8 of an inch off. And then the other thing is, if you decide, this is the paper saving way. Now, if you decide, no, because you do have enough, I want this to be 8 1/8 because this is 8 1/4. And here's the thing with the 6 by 8 paper pad, when we get to Butterfly Kisses, we use the 6 by 8 paper pad, and that's why I wanted to stick with that size. It does give you a larger border, so it's up to you. You have enough paper, if you don't want that much white to show, to cut this at 6 1/8. Okay, not 6 1/8, 8 1/8. I'm sorry. Now, when we work with the Doodlebug's new 6 by 8 paper pad next week, we don't have that option because it's 6 by 8. So, and the album is, pages are 8 1/4. So you may be cutting the yellow plaid for the doggies. We'll come back to that, and we come back to this in just a moment. So we'll just pop that on over. And then our next 6 by 8. We're going to use the bold stripe. This is Puppy. And then, so you want the bold stripe, regardless if you're kitty or puppy. And then I'll show you which one we did for the kitty. Because well, we did the same stripe, but it has a different graphic on the back, where that one, the puppy will have your clouds, but the kitty has blue paw prints. I'm not sure why, but that's how she did it. and that side. Now for this one, whoops, I do want to give you a different measurement, because when you this one I did do it at 8 1/8 for this. Now, with the graphics on this one, I wasn't too concerned if we cut that length first. And it's because we use part of that as a, let's see, photo mat, I believe. So you can do this one however you like. And I didn't want to cut off all these colors. I wanted to keep them together. So on this one, I will just cut down the center at 6. And then you decide if you want to take your length off here and have more green. I had more purple showing, or yeah, if you take it off from there, let me show you. You will have more of this purple showing. So totally up to you. Just check your end. I had to get more of that header off. Whichever end you want your color to be at the top is where it should be on this long side. Last time I went this route, but this time I'm going to go this route. Okay. But your clouds or your paw print, so I'll have the opening on top here. The paw prints will face out. And here's what I'm going to start doing. I'm just going to start putting these in my book. They go upside down. Right now we don't have anything on the back. We need those scraps first. And then your second, because I like to have them in order, and then as we're working, we take them out. This will be page number 3, where we slit that. Page number 4. So right now they're laying down to the front there. Okay, our next one. We're going to have a brown paw print, and then we have some green floral. And the green floral is for the doggy, but the kitty is going to be that blue that we just used. So we're going to use that second half. And then we have stripes. So this was a little different. They didn't have the floral per se that I wanted. No barking. So we're going to use that piece that we just cut. Let's turn things over here. And then I'm looking for the kitty. Okay. And I'll show you how to cut this. Now for the doggy, it will be your same border strips. It's the borders. And then we'll use the back side. And let's go ahead and trim our header off. Now we don't need, well, we're going to cut it in half here, but we don't need a huge piece because we're going to use, we just need it to tuck inside the pocket. And when I cut that piece, that piece will come out to be 5 1/4. So first, let's go ahead and cut it at 6. Now again, you can make it a little bit wider if you don't want such a white border. When it comes to using your 12 by 12 sheets, that's one of the nice things. But if you go a little wider than 6, then of course you're going to lose your other 6, just to forewarn you there. Okay, I want this part, whether you've got cat or dog, you want, I wanted that top part as my the dog tags or cat tags and the words love. They're both pretty much the same for the cat and dog, just the colors. So let's cut the pocket first. That's going to go on the front of the pocket. And we're going to cut that at 2 7/8. So this is also what I did. When I put this in 2 7/8, it would have cut right through the love. I didn't like that. So we're going to take a 1/2 inch off of the very top, because this measures an inch. We only need a 1/2 inch. Well, it's not quite an inch. So let's take 3/8 of an inch off. So I'll just take that little strip to make, so this is 3/8 of an inch. Okay, let's turn it around at 2 7/8. And you should get the bottom of your love, or you can cut off at the bottom of the love first and then take a 1/2 inch off. Either way will work just fine. Then I'm going to turn this over, and that's where we're going to cut our 5 1/4 inch long piece to go inside of our pocket. And then we'll just set that aside. Okay, now for the back side, we're going to use the paw prints, and that's going on the back of our pocket, and yours will be brown for the dog. And again, I'll just cut it 8 inches. Then we want our pocket, one of our pocket pages. I want this and a pocket page. I stuck them all over here. And it's going to be the pocket page where you put your waterfall in. So if you don't want to make your waterfall permanent on here, so it was made so you can also just slip it in the pocket. I will be attaching mine actually to there, but again, it will neatly slip into your pocket if you want to have it so it can be taken out. So that's going to go at the bottom. Okay, did everybody see the announcement? 49 a market. Little dreamers and little celebrations just went up today. And there is a project. I'm sorry, but there's a project kit. If you want to get it, though, you want to grab it. They are limited. They're, of course, Country Craft Creations, so nobody else will have what I'm doing because I do my own thing, as you guys know. But it is on the website, so don't forget to grab one of those because we're going to do those in June. If you loved Rust and Rev and you're needing a really cute baby keepsake, alrighty, so isn't that cute? They are on the website. straight before it dries. Oh, come on, come on, come on. Isn't that pretty? I just love it. Okay, back side. So we'll just put our blue down. And for the doggies, it's the brown. Okay, into the book. I have 3 books here. Okay, so cute. Right now we do have we have a 4x4, but we are going to come back to that. So, because we want to cut some papers, and then you have a 6x4 that will go in next. So we will hold off on that for just a minute. Like I said, we're only doing our 6x8, and then we get all those big pieces cut, and then we go back and we'll cut everything else. All right, let's get out of there, guys. Our next one is going to be our center tab one. And grab the doggy and I'll get the kitty for you. So the dog will have the teal and the blue kitties. And we have yellow polka dots for the kitty and orange for the boy. How many? I'm just loving these colors. I think they're so pretty. So yellow polka dots, and this is why we've got 2 sheets, because we are going to cut into the cut aparts, but we have to. Okay. Now, do you remember this piece? That was the other half. So I have that one for the kitties. You should have the teal one for your doggies. Oh, no, that's not the right one. It's the tealish. It's the kitty faces. Sorry. It's the kitty faces and then the doggy faces. That is not the correct one. I got mixed up here. There we go. So cute. Black and white polka dots on the back for the kitties. I love the purple. I was going to use a purple album for this, but I thought, no, because for the kitties, there may be some of you that aren't partial to purple, as I whistle. So again, I have another situation where I want to keep that strip just because then I'm free to use it in other ways, like if the album cover, which I can't remember if we use it or not, but it wouldn't matter. I would have a nice 12-inch strip. So let's put it down, and whether you're cutting your 8 or 8 1/8, or remember, we're kind of in the 6x8, but you can always cut it a hair long, and that's a nice piece for us. And then we're going to cut this in half at 6. Because again, we will have 2 pieces to use. And that will sit right on top of your tab. Now, when I'm done with these albums, I'm going to actually show you something, or I'll tell you something that is fun to do. So if you get these done and you decide, I have a cat and I have a dog, I want some of each. Well, you know those extra pieces? You can go ahead and make some more pages at the end. And maybe we'll do that as a bonus. I'll do that with you guys. Then you could mix and match your albums. So you could put cat, dog, and I will show you when we're all finished how to take, you can actually make 2. If you've bought cat and dog, you can make 2 cat and dog albums if you need it to be cat and dog. We're going to mixing our pages. Put some of the cat, some of the dog together, use your extras, and then make 2 more albums instead of doing all cat and all dog. Okay, same thing. Now, the reason too, I mean, you don't have to worry. You have another sheet of cut aparts. Okay. I know a lot of you are probably like, oh, I can't cut those. Yes, you can. We have another sheet, and we don't use it. We're using this. So again, I'm just going to cut it 8. But this sheet's for us to use the yellow dots with. See, they're going to go on the back. And if you have the doggy, you have your orange. Knock those over. Okay, pop that in our book. And then the next thing we want to pop in the book. So this is the dogs, and it's going to be the divider. And because I don't mat our divider, that will go in next. And then we need a 6x8. This will be our next one. And for this one, it looks a little deceiving. You know, I need to move these before they end up on the ground. And then I'm going to have all you come over and help me pick them up because they're no fun when you get them dropped on the ground, all your ephemeras. They're kind of hard to pick up. Okay, kitties. We're going to have some pink polka dots, which is the back of the wording. So the dog is the same thing. Remember, this is the wording that we used on the inside cover. And we want to grab that piece because we've already cut it. And you should have a strip of it. Because we didn't, oh, no, we did not. Here it is. So now we just want the length. Now for this one, I did remember, I cut it just a hair over 8. And I got to go this way because I didn't cut my header all the way off. And let's see. Okay, so I have the opening here with the holes to my left, and we'll put the pink polka dot, or you'll have the red hearts sticking out, or facing out, not sticking out, but facing out. Like so. So when you turn the page, that's the back side. I'm going to put that one in our book. And now we want a horizontal pocket. For the dogs, you want that green grass. And we did, I believe we did, yeah, we cut some. We cut a little strip off the side, if you remember. And so you'll have the floral on the other side. And then we want the doggy print. For the kitty, so pretty. Love those colors. And then we'll have the kitty prints. So let's get those out. And I don't believe we have cut any of these except, yeah, we have not cut those. So our first one, it's going to be your full sheet. The doggy will be, it has the green grass on the back. This one will be for there. Oh, they're there. And then we did cut that strip. We cut it for our belly band on the inside cover. So these are the 2 sheets for kitty. Then your puppy is the green and the floral. And of course your paw prints. So I'm going to start with this one. And we have our horizontal pocket. I've got to tie something on my ruler so I can easily find it. So that again is going to be the 2 7/8. First, we're going to cut our long piece, and then I put a 3 1/2. So 2 7/8, and then 3 1/2 is our magic number. Oh, thank you, Sherry. We're going to open this up. And again, these, I don't know if they're, I guess they're not really directional, are they? No. Neither are the dogs. Oh, you know what the doggy is? You need to look at the dog. The grass. Because if you cut it this way, your grass is going to be sideways, okay? You need to go this horizontal or vertical long way. The vertical long way so that your grass is growing correctly. And the same with your paws, unless you want them upside down. Kitty, you don't have to worry so much. So again, I'm going to cut this at 8 1/8. The length. It's going to be a little bit longer. Then you have a nice strip. Then we're going to cut our first cut at 2 7/8. 3 1/2. Those play on your eyes, let me tell you. Ooh. And then for the back, we're going to go ahead and cut those paw prints. I've already cut into this, so I'm not going to cut the bottom off or anything. I'm going to cut my strip. And I will cut my strip at 6 because we're on the back side. This is going to be good for like 3x4s, a different photo mat. So we're going to leave that just like so. We're going to cut this at 8 for the back side. Sometimes it, yeah, it's got those folds in there. The only, well, there's others, but they're pretty like simple stories. If you want more of a, I don't know about subtle, I do, there's mine Forever Friends. It's more vintage and antiqued, but I don't, of course, with the Country Craft Creations papers, you won't have your embellishments. There's, oh, I don't have any of the other lines. They came out last year, the pet lines with simple stories, or they had one this year, and I, you know, I didn't bring it in. It was very much like their old ones. So that one, I don't have any others on my website except for my Forever Friends. Like I said, it's vintage, it's retro, not retro, but it is vintage. And then I don't do the embellishments because I just don't have the means to create them in the United States. And that's okay because we love our paper and we do lots of other fun things. But that one you could check out, Forever Friends. Okay, we'll put the paw print on the back. Okay, let's just go ahead and pop this one in. Then our next one will be a 2 3x4s and a 4x6. And the 3x4s are at the top. So we're just going to put that right inside there. And then our next one, we need this 6x8. It's our last 6x8. And I will grab the puppies. Is right there on my desk. And grab the kitties. Oh. Let's just get these guys put away so I don't get things messed up. Which I just did. It's always good that I have a walkthrough. Where's my 4x4? Okay, well, we won't worry about that because we'll just go back to the walkthrough. Okay, I think we were supposed to, let's just go ahead and put a 4x4 in our book. Oh, I did. No, I did not. Put a 4x4 in there also on top of your, so I just put it in there on top of my 3x4 and 4x6, and then our 4x4s. And then we'll put this one behind. I'll check my walkthrough so I get those straightened out. So kitty puppy, we're going to have the purple and the red. So we don't do anything now. I believe we will until we make that, of course. And I think we've already cut it, so we should be able to make that. Okay, so the back side is this one for your kitties. And you're going to ignore this pink paper because at the time when I got this kit, I had gotten it really early. My order got here before others and I didn't have everything. So I used that, but we're going to use for here, we're going to use paper from here. This one isn't in your kit. When you look at it, you're going to be like, oh, wait a minute. Yes, it is in your kit, guys. You have the solids. I just don't in my kit. I do believe. No, that's Butterfly Kisses. I'm doing all these kits. This is going to come from your paper pad, so no worries there. So the doggy, though, you're going to grab that other sheet now. You're going to need to cut into that second 12x12 for your puppies. See, the hearts are on this side. Because I don't, yeah, you shouldn't have a piece of that left. So you'll need to grab your second sheet. And then you will want, you should have a piece about this size of the orange because I have a piece of the stripe one. Let me find it here. Keep going, keep going, keep going. There we go. So this is what we're going to use for this pocket piece. So remember when I cut this and we saved it? So we're going to go ahead and put this on. That's what we're going to create the little pocket with. The same with your orange piece that you have. But first we want our 6x8 inch piece. Because this is directional And because your other one, the dog is directional also. So I'm going to cut my 8. I'll cut it like 8 1/8 to fit in our pocket. So I'm going to cut that first so that we have all of our nice words. Then we will cut it at 6. Okay, we want the front. Now, you should have this piece left over when we created that pocket, and it should be about 3 1/2. It could be a little bit bigger. If it's 3 1/2 or 4, you can just leave it. Then we're going to cut from here. We're going to put this corner in, and we are just going to make a tick mark from the bottom. Let me tell you exactly what we're going to cut. We're going to make a tick mark that is 2 1/4 inches. And, you know, just a little tick mark. So what I'm going to do, move him. This is my bottom. So I just want to come up 2 1/4 inches. And then with your pencil, just make a little tick mark at the edge. Then my pencil mark right there in my groove. I'm going to go from that corner down to this tick mark. So I'll put the corner in there, hold it, and just pivot. And there you go. Should be the exact same width. Then we're just going to add adhesive to the 2 sides and across the bottom. So we can use the pocket in the sleeve, especially if it's something sentimental you want to keep, like maybe, adoption papers, you know, something cute like that. When you pick them up, you can just put them in here with a picture up at the top. Now this looks like it might be just a little over the edge, so I'll trim it in just a second. And then turn that over so it opens on the front. We'll put that one in our sleeve. So we have our other tab. Okay, I set my tab here so I would have it. There it is. Okay. So for the dog, let me pull that one out. I've done something funky because I can't find the dogs. Oh, I pulled it out, goodness. Okay, guys. I'm seeing cat and dog here. Okay, so for the cat and dog here, we've got some different cutting. This is the point where I need more room. Okay, doggy, you've got a pink polka dot. Let me show you what we're going to cut. So you want your pink polka dot. And it's going to be the back of your paw prints for the dog. And for the black and white, we did already cut into that for our kitty. And it's on the back of our kitty faces. Okay, so for the doggy here, I did repeat using the one we used on the other page a few minutes ago. Do you remember we put it on a pocket? Didn't we put that one on the pocket? No, we put it on your middle tab. It was this piece. So it's going to be your bottom piece that you have left over. And this is where we have some, variations here. And then for this one, it's going to be the top. Now, what happened with this one, I meant to use this one, and you can because you have another sheet. So if you want it to be, so if you're doing a dog and you want them to kind of cross-reference here, but I'm going to go ahead and go with the pink. But you definitely can, you can use this because you have another sheet if you want. So I'll give you the measurements. Now the dog's going to be the same, whether it's the white polka dot or your pink polka dot. So we want to cut a piece that is 6 inches. And it's going to be, because I just divided it in half. So it's 6 by 4 1/8. It's already 6. I'm just going to cut my 4 1/8. For my top. And then the bottom will also be, it should be the 4 1/8. Yeah. So I'm just going to go ahead and take it this way so I stay with my pattern. And then you'll just cut it at 6. And then we'll come back. We'll put that little strip on when we're doing the decorating. When I'll show you, we cut it. I'm pretty sure. If not, it's one of our ephemera. So we're fine either way. Okay, so we're going to put the polka dot at the top. Now it might overlap a little bit. And it won't matter if it doesn't, because we are going to put, I need to move that over. We're going to put a strip in the middle. So you can trim it if you don't want it to overlap. Or you can just have it overlap. I'm actually going to start with this piece at the bottom. I usually start at the top. And the reason is I want to make sure I don't cover my wording. It's pretty close there to the edge. Oh, but we can't cover the holes. How's everybody doing? You guys are quiet. Super quiet. So I think I will go ahead on mine too. Let me just take 1/8 of an inch off. Then it won't be bulky in the center. Because if there's a space there, it doesn't matter. We put a border strip there. And then there will be a photo mat here. I don't think it was on the other one. I left it off of the kitty by accident. No, I didn't. There is one. But we will put our photo mats on there. I know I did on one of them in the kitty. Oh, you're so sweet, Monica. I might put you to sleep. Let's flip this over. And for the kitty, like I said, this yellow, don't worry, you don't have it. I didn't have it either. And I forgot I had grabbed those out of my stash, but we're going to use one from here. Not a problem, because here we use the polka dot. And this one for your doggy, we're going to come back to, because we're going to use the plaid, the yellow plaid at the bottom. But I do want to make sure we don't cut into that for the front. And we have it on the back. Let me check one last thing. Okay, we can cut it now. So if you want to grab your yellow plaid, the one thing with your yellow plaid, I want you to make sure you keep one sheet. Okay. Don't use one complete sheet, because it's going to be your cover and your inside cover. So if you've got the doggies, you're going to use the yellow plaid at the bottom. And if you have the kitties, we're using our yellow polka dots. And we already did cut into those. And then we're going to have a strip at the top of our yellow. Now you have a couple of pieces here. I wouldn't save your big one. We just need this one. Okay. So our top piece of floral, I cut it 3 inches. So this one will be at 5 inches. Or you can make it a hair longer. It's up to you if you want a little bit longer on your page. So 3 inches, and then your yellow plaid will be the 5 inches. Oh, and 6. So 3 by 6. In reality, you could leave it a little bit longer and less yellow, but I do want it to match what I did. This should already be 6. Yeah. So I'm going to cut this one 5 1/8. And again, you do have the wording on the back, so I'll put this down first, so I don't cover my words. Come on. See, one side is slippery, one side is not. And on the side that's not slippery, nothing wants to move. Okay. Well, I'm taking 1/8 of an inch off, so just take 1/8 of an inch off of one or the other so it fits nicely. Now from our second cut apart sheet for this, we will be using the cut apart. So that's another reason we divided our papers, because we don't want to cut into our second sheet of cut aparts. And to be honest with you, if they're going to start making 6x paper pads, I wish they'd make these smaller, but I'm sure at this point they can't. Their albums probably are already set how they make them. But I'm like, but our Doodlebug, and I love their 6x paper pads. They are so awesome. But this is quite a bit longer, but it still looked nice. it works just fine. You'll see next week when we do our butterfly kisses. And now if you want, you with your other doodlebug papers, you can kind of use this as your sample, and you can make more albums using your other doodlebug lines. Even though we'll be making more, and I'll be making albums. I know I got to get back to albums too, but I love these. All right, let me just organize here just a little bit so we don't get everything completely out of whack. Our 4x4 there, or 3x4s. Okay, let's go ahead and put that. Oh, that goes in the one we're working on now. I'll put my kitties back. Yeah, it's getting mine. Of course, this is the one I did, so it's pretty thick. Okay, your next one is going to be a 4x4. So if you want to just pop it in there for now, we'll come back to that. And then we want a pocket. And this time you want your horizontal down at the bottom. Okay, this was the one. So after we mat the back side, then we're going to put this down. So we can set that aside for right now. So for the doggy. Now this is where I also used a border strip. So I did take a border strip when we do the top piece. And I kind of made these to match a little bit more, because we had the white polka dots on purple, and this is the purple on purple. And then there we go with our kitty family, and this one was the floral. These were just extras, so I need to get those matted. And this will be, we will cut a 1. Well, you don't need your border punch right now. We'll come back to it, but it's a 1 1/4 inch strip that will go along the top, and then I just used the border punch if you'd like on that. So we're going to do the front first. And again, our pocket piece is like 5 1/8 by 6, 2 7/8 by 6. Okay. Then we've already cut some of the purple. But remember that strip? Yeah, that's our pocket piece. 6 inches, and then we're going to cut that 2 7/8. Same size with your doggy. Okay, this piece also can be your border, even though it's a little shorter. I mean, it's 1 inch. This will be just fine. It depends. If you have a really deep border, you're going to need a bigger piece, but I'm going to save this one in the pocket so I can just use my border punch on that. And then our kitty family. I'm just going to go ahead and cut this one at 6. We've already cut off the bottom, remember? And so see, this wasn't enough to go in there. And then I can just turn this around and cut it. I'll just go 5 1/4, make it even. So that will go down just barely into your pocket. Then I'll cut this as a border strip. And it makes it easy with these pocket pages. The vertical or horizontal piece is 3 inches. So that's an easy thing to remember. You'll just cut 2 7/8 and either the 6 or the 8. So makes measuring really simple. I said it just barely will go inside of that pocket. Okay, for the back, dog or cat, it doesn't matter. We use the stripe piece. So we have that other half. Do we have that other half? We should have that other half, didn't we? Because we didn't use a full one. Oh, wait a minute. Here it is. Nope. The blue paw print. Did I really use that? Oh, I think it's hiding under there. Oh, I guess we did. We used both of those. Okay, so this is where we're going to get that second sheet out now. Well, maybe I am. There it is. 6 by 8. And again, you'll just want to decide whether it's cat or dog. What do you want to start with? Green, because how you cut it will be what starts. So I'll cut my length and have the green. Yes, I'm checking that it's right side up. I don't want my pocket to be upside down. So we put this whole piece down first. So right now we just want to get this foundation done. And when we go back, that way we're not having to cut all the big pieces. We have the big pieces completely out of the way. And our doggy will have the polka dots, the brown. So I started with a little bit of the blue, but it ended with the brown. Okay, this does not bend under. This stays up on top. We're just going to put it flush with our matting. And then you'll have about a 1/16 of an inch at the top and bottom where that paper will show through. And I want you to add your adhesive to this inside piece, you know, holding it out straight. Don't bend it backwards. Okay, since this is a bigger piece, I want to go ahead and mat our flap first. And whether you're cat or dog, you're going to grab your polka dots. Now, this has a direction to it because see these fishies? We're going to be using them in our pocket. So the dots aren't directional. This is, so I want this up. And the same with, that's the kitty bones, the dogs. You're going to have your bones. If you turn it this way, they're going to go the other direction. Wilbur, it's not playtime. It's not. He just brought me down his toy again. So we want to cut, you want to make sure your bones are going horizontal, not vertical. And let's measure for safety, even though I know we're just going to cut it at 6, but we're going to still measure. I'm just going to measure this whole piece, and it's 6 inches. And it's going to be 8 inches. So this flap is 6 by 8. So first I'm going to cut this at 6. Then we're going to cut at 8. Well, we may cut it at 7 7/8. So let's just do a double measure. 7. I'm cutting mine at 7 7/8. So I want you to measure yours. Now I'm going to come back. We don't need. We need 7/8 of an inch cut off because this is that 7/8 of an inch will go on our little hinge area. Okay, staple it. So now I'll cut 7/8 of an inch off. And if you rounded your corners, you'll want to get your corner rounder, and we'll go ahead and round those corners. So this piece will sit on that hinge. Whoops. This one goes this way. Ah, I need to trim it. Measure it. Well, you'll know. Because when you go to put it down, if it's too long, you'll measure it. I mean, you'll trim it. Oh, yeah. Another 1/8 of an inch. And then I'm going to give you what this ended up being. I mean, because we did lose some space. So we lost an 1/8 of an inch there. And then we've got our where we score. So sometimes what you don't think is going to take up some measurement, it does. So I ended up cutting mine then at 5, about 5 7/8, 4 7/8, sorry. For my front. Okay, so this is a little bit slippery. So make sure you do hold it down while you're, if you're using glue, while you're burnishing it so it doesn't slip on you. Because it can. Okay, when we get done there, we want to do the inside back, which is the brown paw print. So the inside of the kitties, I just love this, is going to be, it's so cute, the purple polka dots. Now that I have, see my book open here, I don't want to just go knocking it. There we go. As long as you're cutting like I am, you will have the exact same cut pieces that I'm grabbing. And then I'm just going to do another measurement. It's 5, so we're going to cut it 4 7/8 after you measure yours by 7 7/8. Excuse me. So I need to round my corners, and it doesn't matter on this one because it's not directional, so I'll be able to turn it however I need. Slippery, remember, until that glue grabs a hold. Okay. Nice and heavy, so see it stays closed. And there we go. So we can put that one ready to be decorated. Okay, not many more are going to fit like this. I got to close my book here in a second. Okay, well, I'll just set it there and we'll be very careful. Your 2 4x6s go next. You have a 4x6 top and one on the bottom. So that one, just go ahead and slip that into your book. And then we have one more pocket, and it's a vertical one. And this last one, so I kind of got out of order somewhere. I'm just going to pop it in the front. You probably have this too. It does go in our book, but I've somehow my page is slid, and so we'll go back and we'll get it all fixed up. No problem. So we're going to now do our last pocket here. And I got to put this together. It'll just take me a second. After we put this together, then we're going to start with the plastic sleeves. And we're going to go back and get those all matted. Okay, much better. See, as your book grows, it's pretty hard to just work on it with it. When you open it, everything comes out. So let me show you the dogs. Isn't that cute? You've got your hearts. Then we have our clouds. This is going to be where we do our 4x4 squares. It's so fun to do. So for our kitty, yeah, let me just quickly. So I'm going to have to watch my own video and go back and make sure it's in order. Because I don't think these guys are in order, but that's not a problem. cute, huh? So we're going to use those pretty blue flowers. And then we're going to use the polka dots. And then we'll do our squares for the back. And that's fun. I like doing those. Okay, so let's get out. We need this little guy. Just kind of get things. So these, oh, I don't want to lose our waterfall. Okay. Two and 7/8 by 8 1/4. You know what they do, Tomalee? They do. One thing that I really taught myself, and this is why I shied away from making these for years. Ask Tanya. They drove me crazy. I'm like, there is no way, because I've talked about this a lot, and I'm not kidding when I say I am ADD. I am true. I went through school. I had to train myself through nursing school, through military, through married life. I have a really good husband. Okay, this is going to be 3.5 inches by the 8. And I have to do it in steps like this. And I found if I do it in steps like this, not only did it become less confusing for me, I hope it is to teach for you guys. I hope this is making it less confusing. I would look at them before and be like, forget it, there's too many bits and pieces, but I so wanted to make them because they turn out so cute. So by doing it in steps like this, dividing and getting everything in an organized pattern, I feel makes this so enjoyable. Just like creating our albums with the lay flat method, piece by piece, just makes it so the brain doesn't feel, I hope, overwhelmed. Because these come, as you know, especially the 49 market, we've been working with a lot of pieces. And sometimes it can be really overwhelming, even for anybody. But I know you guys, and I know me, I wanted to make them so bad. You know, Tanya would show me hers and be like, they're so cute, but there's no way I can. There's just too much pieces and going on for me to wrap my brain. And I finally one day said, just wrap your brain around it and stop it and make it. You want to make it and know it. And so I did. And oh my gosh. I'm like, yep. I love them. You know, they've been around since, not like this. They really, everything just always evolves, of course. But remember, what was the life called? Where we were just, you know, putting things, when it first came out. And we would, something life. And we would put our sleeves, our photos, but they weren't quite decorated like this yet. That I didn't have a problem with. In fact, I've got a lot of those albums. I need to take my pictures out because we're going to put them in these now. But these are fun. I really enjoy these. Okay, what I want you to do now is you're going to choose 6 scraps. And it doesn't have to match mine, but I'll show you what I'm going to use. So definitely I will have this one in the bottom. It can be completely different pieces. Tanya, and it always is you. Project Life, yes. And Tanya, you know, it's the same thing with Tanya. I would have cut every single piece of paper and had nothing left. She's like, stop wasting your paper and start being frugal. I'd be like, how are you cutting paper and still having a pack of paper left, Tanya? And Tanya, Well, Rick says Tanya's a good teacher. Even though that she doesn't think I listen to her, I do, I promise. And then I use my footsteps. So any of these cute little, actually, this is a better strip because this is probably a 4x6. And I know I'm a crazy person. And then I've got this one. So you just want 6 different, and you can use front and back, by the way. 1, 2, 3, 4. And it looks like I've used, did not use that. And I did use this. So I am looking for pieces that are this size, because we are going to cut them at 2 7/8 by 2 1/2. So I try to, pick out some smaller. I'm trying to keep my 4x6s, but like I said, we do have another full set of papers. So I have a couple of these. I'm going to use the blue. That one's fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the one that I'm missing looks like the purple. And I don't have a smaller one, so I'll go ahead with this one. Now I'll show you the doggy. Paw print. I had, well, use a yellow plaid. I used clouds, your purple with white polka dots, then your polka dots and your doggy bones. Okay. Then we are going to be cutting 2 7/8 by 2 1/2. So the important thing is going to be that you don't cut anything yet. Okay. Because I need to show you something. When you cut these, actually, we're going to start by cutting every single one of them 2 3/4. 2 3/4 wide by 2 7/8. If it doesn't have a directional on the paper, go ahead and I want you to cut your 2 7/8. Actually, I know that Tiffany will do that. Cut your 2 7/8 by 2 3/4. Okay, we are going to cut 6 of those. Watch your directional. 2 7/8 by 2 3/4. This is directional. So 2 7/8 by 2 3/4. So it's 2 7/8 the long way. Up and down is 2 3/4. So, oops, 2 7/8 and 2 3/4. And I did try to pick pieces that weren't directional for this very reason. Oh, I already cut that one. I have to pick a different one. 2 7/8. See, when you decorate a Christmas tree. Oh, I don't either, Tiffany. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I need my kitty bones. My fishy bones, I mean. Oh, there he is. Now, directional, and your bones will be directional. So cut that at 2 7/8 and 2 3/4. Yeah, I'm not buying decorations for the back of my tree for the wall to look at. That's for sure. We will have to do some cutting down of these guys, of the bottom. You'll see in a second, or we can trim. I just wanted to make sure that I can show you the easiest way. So my 2 7/8 goes across, okay? So once, if you have the tape runner that is temporary, okay, that one's right. Oh, I forgot. You do want to put your ruler here at 6. That's right. We want to make sure we don't go over those holes. Okay. And this is the side that is not slippery. So I may not have gone the full inch, but that way I need to be made aware. Okay. We're getting the temporary out, guys. Oh, thank you, Tiffany. Yeah, the easy runner is what you want to use when you want to do these temporary things. A bit of purple. And my paws. So this is where we're going to do some adjusting. And I did cut the bottom 1/8 of an inch off, but first I don't want you to cut anything till you put things down, because you can either cut it from the top, but you'll see it just sticks over about 1/8 of an inch, or you can take a 1/16 of an inch off of top and bottom. So I'll show you. I just didn't want you to cut them all yet. I want you to have them all the same size. I always start out with them all the same size. Anytime I've done any of these. Then here in the center, see, we're going to have a photo mat. So it covers that they don't meet in the middle, and that's just fine. So you wouldn't even know when you look at my page. I had left these 4 at the 2 3/4 and brought this down to 2 5/8. You wouldn't notice it because of the center. But if you're really wanting them to be all symmetrical, then I'll take my top row. And these were 2 3/4. So if your cutter has a 1/16 of an inch, then just take that 1/16 of an inch off. Then we're going to take a 1/16 of an inch off the bottom. So it's like I said, if you don't have a 1/16 of an inch, just put it in the groove and then cut it. Okay. So now I'll put this one back down. We will leave the center one the same size. And then we'll check the top. So if you need to take any more off, then you'll just keep taking that 1/16 of an inch off. So this one at the top, then, if you don't want to have to do that, then this one I cut down to the 2 5/8. And then this one, I just took the 1/16 of an inch off. So see, you can't even tell. So that they match, I now will take my top one and I'm just going to cut it down to 2 5/8. And I don't want to take too much more off of it because I don't want it to look, you know, like it is intentionally short. Because it's just subtly short. You like my new words? Since it's just subtly short, the eye doesn't really pick that up. And this one I just took a 1/16 of an inch off of the bottom. And then we'll just, you know, adjust things till they fit. Okay, looks good to me. If yours looks good, like I said, that's why I love that tape runner, the repositional. And I don't ever have to worry, or you can use washi tape. Just kind of, you know, roll it up a little and put it down on the back like you were going to, you know, tape it. And then just pull it off when you're done. Now, if you say, no, I don't have the patience to do that, well, try it because you'll like it. You'll love it. Just put a piece of paper down. If worse comes to worse and you're absolutely not going to do it, you have plenty of paper. This is cute. No live tomorrow, remember. Then Thursday, 11 a.m. We won't get done probably. So we'll go Friday. We will have it done Friday. Yeah, I glued that one down. Wow, it's sticky when it's not slippery. On non-slippery side, everything does stick quick. Okay, then we're going to have a cute photo mat here out of a stripe. I think we have to cut that. Just to give you an example, so it'll be the 4x6 photo mat, see in the center, but I used the stripes. The kitty, and I used the pink polka dots for the doggy. So we can put this one in our book, and now we're going to go back to these guys, to our plastic sleeves, and then we will be ready to decorate. So we will find where this one goes along the way. Okay, we're going to start with the very first. I've already got that one. It'll be our first 3 that are 4x4s. And we are going to make 2 that are 2 that flip open, and then 2 that are regular. So it's all the same, and then we'll need these white photo mats as we go along that we already cut. So for the kitty, we'll go back to the polka dots because I wanted the bones and the fish bones. So you'll need your kitty and your doggy, on whichever one you're doing. And then I don't think we had, I think we have to get our second sheet for that because it has to open this way. But we can use these because these are going to be about the right size. And the one thing nice though with their pockets, they are a true 3x4, whereas I on the 49 Market, we had to cut them down. So this one is perfect. So first I'm going to go ahead and with the scraps, and you're just going to cut them 3x4, no 8s or nothing. So that one's perfect. That'll be my first. And then I can get my second one from this strip that we had, and we're going to go 3x4. But for the ones that fold out, we have to use the other sheet from our 12x12. And then we're going to put either the dog bones or the fish bones sticking out. So the pockets, they're at the side. And I get, using top loaded, side loaded, then I get confused after a while. And we don't have a photo mat, on that one at all. Now this one we do. But we have the photo mat when we flip this over. It's going to be on the back side. And those are our photo mats that are 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. And so I'm going to grab my stack of those that we already cut. And we're going to just keep them handy because we're going to use them. Okay. So this one will go kitty corner, and I'm going to put this right on the back. So it's on top of our fish bones. And it's the 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. That thought. Nope, I did that backwards. That's it. No, I didn't. That was correct. Because I have the holes to my left, and this one will go up here on the right. And then this one with the photo mat, the polka dots need to be out in the front. So it will look like so. And then these two are going to be our little booklet. So you'll need your second sheet of 12 by 12 with either the dog bones or your fish bones. So it's a fold out card, and we want it to be 6 inches long. And it should be, we're going to cut 4 inches high. And this is our directional, remember? So we're going to cut a 4-inch piece from the bottom. And then I want you to just cut it at 6. And there's your two little booklets. And in your scoreboard, we're going to just score them at 3 inches. And you want to score lightly on your pattern paper. 6 at the top, and we'll score at 3. Just score those in half. And we have one that the polka dots will be out on the front. And then this one, our fishy or your doggy bones, will be out. Okay, now we've got to have that different photo mat. Those little ones that are 2.5 by 2.5. We'll want those also. And these are going to go out here on the front. I'll have one here at the bottom, and I'll have one here at the top. And then we want 2 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. They're going to go on the back. Okay, this one's going to be on the bottom. Gives it kind of that, Polaroid camera look. And polka dots will be at the top. Okay, and you just want to flip them over. So we don't have anything in the center, but we have our photo mats on the back. Yep. Okay, so the top, did I just put that on backwards? Oh, no, I did not. Okay. This one does have to be turned over. So let's take these over. Sorry. That's a nice thing. No, this is the wrong one. That's why it's not a, okay. I need the 4. There we go. That's why I can't get anything over there. Okay, the slits need to be on the front. So I'm going to start with my polka dot. There we go. And then the bones. I mean, I like the sides, but I can't get bruised. Some albums are, some aren't. And then we have the bones out to the front. These are great once you get something in there, because then you can see. And then our polka dots. Yeah, there's nothing on the back. Well, you're going to have a picture on there if you want. Okay, so that's what that will look like. Then when you flip it, that's what it looks like on the back. Sorry, it's water time. All right, that can pop in there now. Oh, we have to do this little guy. Okay, we'll finish our plastic sleeves. Then we're going to come back to him. We have to do him. Oh, and we have to do, oh no, we did put that in our book, so we're safe. Okay. So my, excuse me, my book's a little out of, you guys, we put the brown one in, correct? Okay. There's the brown one. So you'll have either a brown one or your red one. Okay, that one. No, this one. Okay, we're gonna come back to this one after we get everything all added. Then we had a pocket. I'm trying to make sure we're in order because I'm not in order here. Okay, that's our first page. Okay, that's correct. Hi, Vicki. That's correct. Now we need to move. Let me show you. I just put it in here, and this is not where it goes. Don't worry if you don't get them in the order right now, but this one is going to go in front of the center tab where we have that. Okay, that goes in front of the center tab. And then this is the one, our 4x6 and the 2. That's our next one. See, my doggy one got out of order too when I dropped those sheets. So what I'm going to do is I'm following this kitty one for safety's sake. But it, like I said, we'll go back in and put them in order, so that won't be a big deal. The only thing is, there we go. It's here. we have to remake this kind of, and we cut those two pieces, but I'll show you what will happen here. So let's grab those. We made them last night. Okay. Because we have to add that other piece, but let me show you something. I have a funny feeling. Yeah, I screwed this up with you guys. I screwed it up, but it's not. It is, but it isn't. Okay. We're going to turn it this way. Now, you want to take your divider. You have, remember, we have this one left. And we want to cut 4 inches. And then we're going to cut 6 inches. Because we have our hinge here, so this is going to go into here. No, it's still right. Okay. I thought, well, we may just have to remake that a little bit, but it doesn't. Nope, we are fine. Let's go ahead and trim this down, though. Just a tiny bit from 4 inches. I mean, just a tiny, because it's a little bit tight. Okay, that's a better fit. Still a little tight. So just trim it up, and it's because it's thicker. There we go. Nice fit. So what I did, I had made this shorter on the front, so some of this showed. Mine, you can actually see it was getting pretty. It's already just getting bent up, and I felt if we make it a little bit shorter, then it's not going to get so beat up when everything hits it. Now I just may have to trim. I got to trim this down a little bit now. I had to trim it last night too. So I'm going to trim mine to, it's going to be trimmed to 3 7/8. And so it should fit in your cutter just fine. It is thick. That's the only thing. I don't like when things get beat up. There we go. That's nice. Much nicer. So my hinge is to the left. I'm just going to wrap it around the edge. You can either wrap it around the edge or you can keep it on the inside. Totally up to you. Then we are going to put our string on when we are doing the decorating. But check your kit. Did you get some paper clips in there? I think the girls went ahead and they saw my video, and so they popped some, I believe, paper clips in some of the kits. And I'm like, well, they're not in there, but if you've already put them in, just leave them. We like getting extras. No, it needs to be straight. See, it slips. You gotta watch that slippery board. And then I am going to round the corners to match the top. And we don't want to put the ribbon on until we do our pattern paper. Oh, there, that's a much better fit. You could even trim this one just a hair, and then see, it will fold out. So I think I will. So it doesn't get beat up. So as we're working, as we get to this page, then we will go ahead and add our string. Oh yeah, that's a better fit. And that's the brown twine that's in your kit. Now on the back of here, because I don't think I put this photo mat on here for you guys, I need to give you a measurement, but we need to cut that. But we can cut that as we're also putting stuff together. So let's go ahead and do our 3x4s. So for the doggies, you're going to use the flowers with the purple on the front. And for the kitty, we're using the one that had the green. It's also floral. It has the green with the white polka dots. And it's not really directional. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut a 3-inch piece. And then we're going to cut 2 4-inch pieces. And there they all go. My photo mat's all picked up here. And you guys, I don't know why, but when it comes to these sleeves, I always leave off the photo mats when I'm doing the cutting and counting with you. And I've got to stop doing that. But I did cut these ones different. They're the 2.5 by 3.5. So were those on our cutting instructions? Where's my book? You may have to cut 2.5 by 3.5. I got to stop leaving those off. I did. I left those off of our cutting guide. So go ahead and grab those whites. Your white piece we cut into. Because you still have your 8.5 by 11s. And actually you don't even have to cut those. You're going to have you might even have some of the scraps. Remember all of those? They come in handy because I don't know why I left those off. But these ones are different. They're 2.5 by 3.5. So it looks like those two, that one will work. That will work. You know, I may have counted them, actually. I think I did. So the puppy, I did different. You can use your 3x4s. Hold on. No, you can't. They are 2.5 by 3.5, so I did leave them off. Okay, so we'll just cut 2 of those. And 2.5. I think I already did. We're good. And this size just gives you a little more of the pattern paper showing through. And you can either journal or you can add, especially if you have the small individual printers. They print the 2x3s. They look really cute in that size. I just looked up. Tiffany, I thought you were typing Hawaii. It says howl. I thought it said Hawaii. How funny. So, we can map this. I mean, no, we'll map this when we come back because we need to put ribbon underneath. We don't want our, well, it's not ribbon. Ribbon, it's just, it's our string, the brown string that's in your thing. So now we're going to cut a 3 by 5 7/8. And that was not on your cutting guide. I don't think any of these scraps will work, so I'll get out. I won't cut that. I have a feeling, even though I didn't write on it, it's possible. No, that's the one. So we want a 3 by 5 7/8. I knew I wouldn't get by without having to cut something from our white photo mats, because that's me. All right, let's just pop him out. And I did go around this, but I'll do it after it's on. And so I'm going to go ahead and round this top corner. We'll put this at the top, and then we'll have a border that goes here. So as you've noticed, we've gone a little bit longer tonight. So I want to get all the plastic sleeves done Thursday morning. Then we'll start in on each page with the photo mats. And then Friday, we will decorate. So we will go into Friday. So just plan on it. We have a date. Okay. All right, let's pop that into our booklet, our book. And then I will go back and get these in order after I watch my video so I can know what one I left off. Come back and do him. So we did that one. Our next one, oh, we've done that. So our next one is going to be, should be the 2, okay, 3 by 4s. That's good. And a 4 by 6. Here it is. Because it's going to go in this, behind this pocket. No, at this point, it's going to go where we put it. No, it's supposed to go behind here. Yeah, like I said, we'll go back and I'll get this all in order for you. So, Kitty, we're going to now want that second sheet of cut aparts. And we want the, these are so stinking cute. Aren't those graphics just adorable? Then we want our 3 by 4 photo mats. And I've just got to get my other cut aparts out. So you'll want that second sheet. Then we want our yellow polka dots. Well, it's actually going to be on the back of here. So And then these are all just 3x4s, the full 3x4s that we cut. See, she put, when she designed the paper, she put the plaid. I thought there was going to be a plaid yellow for the kitties in here. There is on the doggies, but not the kitties. I was disappointed. So we'll cut our 4x6. And we do need those cut aparts because we have to use them in our book. So don't cut that second sheet of cut aparts. So we're going to flip this over. So our 3x4s are at the top. And then on this little guy on the bottom, go ahead and grab your 3x4s because we want 3 of those. And these are the full size 3x4s. So I put one on the back here. We do need to just trim. We want to trim this one down. And we're going to trim it. I just trim 1/8 of an inch. So from the top and then one of the sides. And it will go over to the left-hand side of your 4x6 cut apart. See, there's how the kitty will be. We'll have our little bird cage. Well, mine's going to be, because I didn't look to see my directionals, mine will be on the wrong. Oh, no, it's not. Okay. I was going to say, it's upside down, but it was not. Okay, that turned out really well. Okay, so your opening is on the back because we want our 3x4s at the top. Now we're just going to put our 3x4s in our pockets. And that's finished. Okay, we have another 4x4. I just have to get the dog so I can show you the doggy. Okay. So for this yellow, you should have some yellow plaid. Okay. For the kitties, this was your cut aparts. And you should have the yellow plaid. You should have a strip like this because we want to cut with your plaid. Should be about 4 inches already. And I'm going to cut 2 that are 3 inches. And the only thing that we're going to have to do different here, excuse me, see the front, it had that plain. So I am going to put a 3x4 card over that. Like I said, I didn't have all the paper. I'd just gotten some of it in. And I grabbed some out of my stash for those. But also, it can be any color. You can use any of your scraps that are here, just so you know. But I would use the plaids. And then we're going to use the paw prints. So the doggies are brown. The thing is, this is where it differs. Your plaid for your doggies has the brown paw prints. So the plaid for the kitties has those guys. So that part is different. And so what I did on the kitty instead of the plaid, I used the kitty faces on that teal. And oh, actually I used pink. So let's use our pink hearts. So for the kitty, for that pink, I'm going to use our pink hearts. And then we're going to want those kitty faces, those adorable kitty faces that are on our the polka dots. So take that back. Your yellow plaid for your dogs is not going to be messed up at all. You're going to have, so you're going to use your doggy, the yellow for here. The only thing is, these guys will stick out here, but it's going to look really cute with your brown paws. So still use your brown paws with the plaid, and then use your yellow plaid strip for the yellow, and it'll go in really nice with the brown. See, that's how the kitty and dog got different, and it really threw me off. It was like, why couldn't you have done kind of the same patterns? But it's okay. It's so cute. So we need this to be 4 inches, and it's there, and we need it to be 3. So it was that 3 by 4, 6. No, it was the 4 by 6 piece we had left. So I'll cut that in half, and then from here, I'll cut that at 3. We'll use that, and then we're gonna, well, I mean, we'll keep that, don't throw it away. Then we have 4 and 4. Then we're gonna put photo mats. So it'll be pink and pink and that. Now this one will have that other 2 3/4 by 3 3/4 photo mat on the front. And we're almost at the end point here. But it hasn't seemed like it's been 2.5 hours, guys. This is the non-stressful part, I think. Okay, but on the back, see, we're going to need one more 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. So just grab those extra pieces that I didn't have you cut. Because I forgot to count the photo mats in the sleeves. So this one will have it. This is where it differs on the back, but it's just fine. It won't be a solid pink. Okay, are we confused yet? We're going to put this in the right hand side. And then these are just normal. So, and our pink. So the pinks are, they're all diagonal from each other. And then we'll get those all decorated. over here. So we should be down to just one more, and it's the 2 4x6s. Yeah, that's the last one. So for our kitty, we're going to use our border strip page. And then the border strip page has the stripes in the back, and we have the words and the polka dots. Now for your dog, this 4 book, we have those floral and the green grass, and then we're going to have the clouds, and on the back will be the stripes. This is going to be a perfect page where I put all 3 of my puppies. So for the kitties, I will get that border strip, and you should have the other half. So once again, you can kind of pick what you want to cut. Now let me see something. If we have, always check your scraps first to make sure we don't have one of those nice 4x6 pieces that accidentally get cut. No, I think we used that on a pocket. Nope, we did not. Let me double check here. Okay, I don't. Okay, where did I put it? So I did cut this top part off because I wanted to start with today. And we did use the other half of that, if you remember. So I wanted it to start with today's good mood. And I will cut that at 4. So some of that does get cut off. I just noticed that actually. But that's okay. I didn't even notice it when I was doing it. That's crazy. Let me see what I put on the back. No, which is fine. So remember, yours is going to be the clouds for the doggy. You've got clouds on one side, and then you'll have those big stripes for the back. But yours has clouds on the front. And then you want your green grass, and then we want our polka dots, and it has all those cute, like, subway words. And for that, I'm wondering, we may, nope. Oh yeah, it's this one. But I do need to cut. We'll need to cut that second 12x12. And then this is our last one for the night. Okay, just put this in your cutter at 4. And 6. Now, as we are decorating, I'll probably do, I didn't do before, but I will do here where I cut the lettering. I can always recut another piece too. We have plenty. That's tight. Take a 16th off. Sometimes that happens. Come on. A little tight. Okay, there's our front. There's our back. Pop that one in, and that's it. So we are ready for Thursday morning. So Thursday morning, we'll just get started. We'll actually start with decorating the back. Well, we'll put our pattern papers down, and then we will go ahead and get started on all of our photo mats. Oh, and this one we did not do because I didn't want to cut into the papers yet, but we'll do that Thursday morning. It won't take long. Same with this one, because we'll do this one as we go. We got little pieces we have to cut. And so we're doing great. So Thursday morning, we'll have the live at 11 a.m. and then we'll see how far we get, because then Friday I may do morning and evening. So looks great. Okay, it's coming along great. So we will see you on Thursday morning, everybody. Thanks again for joining me and for putting up with me. And I'll see you guys on Thursday. Now we all get to clean up our mess. Have a great evening. Bye-bye.